Good morning or afternoon for people on the East Coast. Just trying to start a bit earlier today because I have a meeting later and trying to get the monster truck into Carpoon. This is on my laptop near 100 Mile House, so I I don't have quite as many USB ports and stuff. So it's funny to run out of USB ports for a camera. But um, probably everyone's going to be busy watching a couple, what is there, Sonic right now and Sony in the afternoon. But let's dive in. Okay, so the monster truck frames I finished. I'm going to open them up. Basically, this is like this scene here. It's in the trailer. It was a promise I made a long time ago, kind of, to be a boss. And the thing is, though, that boss, I I then said it would come after the game's release, but it's been so long. I thought, well, I'll try. And like doing that gold car recently, why not? And there's like a couple other boss variations I want to do, which is basically scope creep, but I don't know. Everyone loves a good boss. Playing games like Punch Out, which is like all bosses, and Dark Souls recently. It's like, oh yeah, bosses kind of make a game more memorable. So I needed I needed some fun moments in Carpoon here, while developing it, and not just stuff like sorting out player input at the beginning of a match. So I thought I would do that for a fun stream as opposed to tiny, tedious things. So these tires, as you see, the original ones, that one spins. But I created this one that kind of just rotates around. So I'm going to go grab these files and bring them in, which I downloaded already. But one thing I found with loading different trucks right now is I'm trying to read their old settings, but some of that is that on the third character, the while loop is going forever, so I'm gonna have to look into that later. It's like that's pretty bad. But it's interesting checking Carpoon, some of the old stuff compared to now, and it does look better now. I just don't notice. So I probably will have to get a new trailer put together, amongst other things to do. Always lots of little things. Trailer to get wish lists and stuff feels like kind of a critical item. And I will probably do another game stream again. I'm trying to decide if I just want to play like games 10 to 20 of UFO 50 more focused, or uh, hop onto another game like Berserk Boy or I'm Your Beast or Bzzzt. I don't think I'll have Zelda just yet, but maybe I'll put a poll up. One funny thing out here at the cabin this morning is that I go outside and there's cows moving because it's kind of free range. Uh, I think they're across the street more in the acreage where there's big fields. I'm guessing they've been here because one of the fences is broken. Hold on, I apparently have to go to Google Drive. I'll bring out the gold car quickly. So the thing I'll have to figure out today is that we have, like, I have a gold car, which is it, but the thing is, it just overwrites what the enemy is, while the SUV, that one, if I bring up, that one is kind of like its own object. So I'll have to figure out what's the better way, just to overwrite or add more if statements to the enemy car again, or do that. I would be drawing again probably, but being up here at the cabin, I don't have a portable drawing tablet, so I left my Microsoft Surface in Japan, and probably that you can't really stream off it anyway. Let's see how the stream holds up when I'm downloading a file. It immediately sounds like my laptop is kind of working hard right now. So with the monster truck, one thing I tried though was having tires separate. Um, so that'll be a new. We'll see. We'll see how hard that is to program. But the advantage is that if a car is turning left or right, the tires can actually move. The tires don't actually move in Carpoon. Most of the time they're so small, except in the SUV, I don't notice. But other exciting things, maybe trying to set up a group draw session in the Carpoon Discord. That'll be fun, especially with I don't know, I guess Inktober's coming, but just to kind of have another have just more drawing during the week. I kind of let's see. So hey, some of the files are going. Hey, Brittany, how are you doing? We want to play UFO later this week? UFO 50? Some great game progress over there on your end. Yeah, what? And what evening might work best for you? Although you might be cutting into campfire time, I'll admit that. I can actually have campfires up here right now. Friday? Yeah, probably Friday's fine because up here I don't have my usual workout, then talk to Yoshiko, then dinner and gaming with my friend Colin. So it'd be a very not busy Friday. Unless I'm invited. I think usually the friends up here that have campfires, that's Saturday. But if not, I would just do it earlier. Sonic Central's on right now. Yeah, I guess with that, I wonder. Let me know what the focus is on the new uh, shadow game. Shall we goggle it? I'm trying to get work done right now. Like I can read the Sonic announcements in like 5 minutes. Normally, like I would start this at 10 a.m. Pacific, but I know I have to end by noon today. So I also woke up before 6, unfortunately. No, also everyone else always live stream reacts to that too. So I'll play Sonic when it's out, especially since I had a friend work on it. But and I missed the original Shadow game. I think I was kind of tired of Sonic games at that time. Some of the quality, let's say. Yeah, they cranked them out. I mean, Sonic Heroes, that was pretty interesting. Excuse me, but by the time Shadow with the gun rolled around, I was like, oh, this is too much. I think I would have just also been done university by then, so maybe I had a different taste. So, what games have you been playing though recently? How was Space Marine? More refined? Yeah, a more refined taste. I don't know about more refined taste or just a different taste. So, Space Marine 2 is a very good 360 game. Like, you know, that era of 360 games is actually pretty good. Like, I'm hoping to get. I brought my Wii up here to play SSX 3 from GameCube. I did bring Tricky as well and F Zero GX if there's time. So I'll set that up and see if I can get it working with my sound system that I cannot use back at home because it's just too loud. 360 was Xbox peak, despite. Well, I guess it was good enough that I lived through three consoles because I had my original, that red ring just before free warranty, so I got them down to half, but I think I had to pay like $100 to get it fixed. And then my fixed one red ringed again at some point. And then Andre bought me the updated 360. So, but like, there were tons of good games in that. I was thinking like it'd be neat to play Project Gotham Racing. I think it's 2 to 4. Like I think the original was on original Xbox, but that series, which spawned Geometry Wars, I remember having lots of good times in that. Well, like the hardware was flawed to a point where I think people were talking about tips, like if you cook it in your oven or something the other way, like it'll bend back into place. Like dumb things like that. I did not try that. So what do you mean by the Elite? Is that like a later system or just the controller? Because that's I just think of the controller and that sort of thing. Yeah, the later 360. Yeah, I guess that's what I had. It just didn't look quite as cool. And Jay Allard, at the time. But finally, the truck though. These are some things I used for the cutscene in the trailer. The monster truck, it kind of has red eyes here. I might make the eyes red, but they won't be as big. I'll just be using the standard eyes. Yeah, maybe later I'll draw Navi tires for all of them. So I'll try it now that. Let's say, look. Oh, I also have the one hat done to put in. No, so the custom tires, this is more just for the boss. This boss is like being a monster truck. I realized I had to maybe let the tires turn, otherwise it too like it would look weird just being straight. Like none of the car tires actually turn in Carpoon. Um, I think to go back and cut them out of so many different frames, because I'd have to cut them out of kind of the ink outlines and the colors. I'll probably leave them. Um, that'd be a lot of work. And this file is very big. It's very. I might have been better shrinking it on my computer at home and doing Chrome Remote Desktop. We'll see how it goes. It's like this laptop is Ryzen 7. It's still tough. No, I'm just glad that the compile time in Carpoon isn't that long. No, but no, I just came up here up north on Sunday after the full Indie Summit in Vancouver on Saturday. I'm starting to think there's a high possibility with Photoshop here that I've run out of disk space when it uses it as a scratch disk. Uh, no, I'll check. I'll check, but no, it's still 22 gigs free. So Sonic must be on right now though because of Tokyo Game Show. That's gonna be, I think, in one day in Japan or around then because it starts on the 26th in Japan. Yeah, if this takes much longer to open the file, I'll change it, but we'll see. Come on. Will it open? I know Windows isn't updating at least because it tried it tried to earlier this morning. This file isn't that big. It's the biggest one is 243 megabytes. It's moving. Wow, I think here we go. Okay, here are the monster truck frames. I have to find the... I guess it could be bigger, but let's check the truck's size and open the timeline. I think having different frames on the timeline also kind of punishes it. Yeah, so I finally this was like after doing the gold car, I thought, well, I can finish the monster truck frames because they do take a long time to draw 10 of them. That was always one downside of Carpoon. But here we go, and so it's kind of like the framework for that boss. It kind of looks like another truck. I mean, it's not that different. Probably, if I want to do testing, I could have just deleted the tires off the player truck and used it, and then I could have had custom tires. Because like with the box in the back, this one can't really have a harpoon. Now, how it works is it's probably going to charge the player, and it'll probably have to like stun itself against a wall, or after charging, then the player can grab it and bring it to the crusher 3 times. So yeah, this boss I think I can use twice though if I use it in AutoWorks with a bunch of eyes over it. One thing I'm always paranoid is changing the image size and overwriting the file that I did all the work on. Okay, so the van is 264 by 264. Well, let's check out a truck size. Triss has no H. No, I saw their thumbnails. They both are on the left. And I guess they both use the logo. Like it seems like a good idea to do. Just keep it simple. What do you mean phone is silly? Now, what would be funny though if one was watching the other and reacting to a reaction? Oh, yeah, Triss was autocorrected. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing with phones. Sometimes it's a little annoying. Oh, one thing with the monster truck that's funny is that I guess I did have a object set up it at one point just to appear into the scene. I'll just change this. This is trailer. So one funny thing I thought of last week is that being asked after adding hats if they can stack, and if then you can like date a truck. And I brought up hats in another place and had like the exact same questions. So I'm like, do I have to bring back the mode where the trucks spin their tow arm around and like a heart comes up? And like if 2 people do that, maybe there's like team baby truck mode. Like some Easter egg. And I could use that in a TikTok or something. That's my dumb idea of the day. Okay, just trying to find. What did they name the truck sprite? Oh, S Player. Okay. You can see I always just color the frames. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, like with was it changing the palette? Okay, so this is 132 by 128. Like you would think the monster truck boss, could be a little bit bigger to be a bit more intimidating. It doesn't have to be. It could just be on giant wheels and kind of look puny. Good morning, Brandon. How you doing? How come you're not watching some sort of Sonic live stream? But I don't mind. Thank you for coming by. Oh yeah, you just finished it. How was it? Did they announce anything new, or is it just more on Shadow? And I guess both of you, I thought having maybe group drawing every week or two. So if that's something that interests you, we can all try to figure out a time that would work. I guess it might be hard with everyone's schedules, but we'll see. It's just something I thought that's been fun in the past that Yerk did at one point. So just kind of get drawing more often or kind of spark creativity. Well, Brandon, I hope you're doing well over there. Couple of new stuff, but mostly stuff on Shadow. What's funny with a game like Shadow, or maybe most AAA games, like it's pretty much done when we see all the stuff. Like they're probably just working on ports and localization at this point, so they've had time to prepare all the marketing for it. But it's not like you'd have a preview and have like, oh man, I hope they change something, because it's basically done until there's a patch. Well, doing okay. I came up to the cabin mostly because there's been a lot of noise in my area at night, where sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night from it, and I also wanted to go up to the cabin in case I can't go up later. It's like the last semi-warm time of the year. It's kind of between 10 and 20 degrees right now, which is 50 to 66. And you can have campfires right now, so it's kind of like that sweet middle spot. In the summer, you can't have campfires up here because of forest fires. Anyway, we'll get the excuse me. We'll get the riveting, crunching it down to a smaller image size, and we'll test it out. I might race. I don't know how it would do if I went to Chrome Remote Desktop right now. I just did it on my computer at home. This might take a while. I'll try, because I get the feeling this is going to take 4 minutes. Brandon, I guess playing any new games lately, or doing any new drawings or animations, or have you been busy with work? I'm now racing the image size. I'm going to try to do it over Chrome Remote Desktop. Shadow is now pregnant. Wild update. Well, couldn't you imagine Keanu Reeves being the voice actor, getting the result, and just saying "whoa"? Like, isn't Shadow some sort of science experiment? So, I mean, if they want another one, it could be an easier way to do it. So he's getting an exclusive animation on PlayStation 5. Well, that beats the exclusive paperclip pre-order with PlayStation. Well, I it's an animation. Like, is it just a show? If it's a show being exclusive on PlayStation 5, like, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's gonna be like put on YouTube almost immediately for anyone else to see. So, but if it's an animation in game, well, you're kind of missing out. Yeah, exactly. It'll be on YouTube. I mean, it's an exclusive that doesn't piss off a lot of fans. Is one way to put it. Well, clearly streaming is takes a lot of resources on my old laptop. I have another kind of mini PC up here to set up, but didn't have all my files on it. Okay, Brandon, you've been playing Plucky Squire and drawing here and there, but practicing with singing at karaoke. Well, nice. So, how's Plucky Squire been? I chose UFO 50 over it just because I guess there's price, $10 price difference. Been looking forward to UFO 50 for a longer time, and has way more games. And also, I read some reviews on Plucky Squire that were kind of like saying it did a bit too much hand holding. But no, karaoke is fun. I love karaoke. I mostly do it in Japan at times. Uh, it'd be nice to actually be good at singing. Like, I remember trying singing, and my brother just like, no, stop singing. Uh, okay, ready? You say it's like when people steal a light on a bike. It's not bad, but the fact that it's minor annoying. Yeah, I don't think a light would be too bad compared to, like, let's say losing a imagine losing a seat. Having a seat stolen always sucks. Or like some people take the wheel. Uh, but anyway, I'm racing. 25% to go. I'm racing on my computer at home. Even the computer at home is taking a while. Maybe it's because I chose the preserve image details 2.0 instead of just kind of do smooth edges. Okay, it's okay. My home computer, I started like with 25% to go, and it's 40% right now. It's over. It's like 60. Okay, I didn't beat it, but it was going to be close. One thing with bikes, like, I'm glad you gave me that bike to use, which was very nice of you, because it's like you can't bring a good bike out anywhere, or people just take it, even with a lock. Like I'm sure some people with good bikes in my building, they just take it up into their unit if they have space. I'm lucky that it's kind of like a hidden area in the stairwell in my building. Because yeah, it's probably one of the reasons why I just walk to places now. Other than getting all sweaty. Okay, this is where I save it so I don't overwrite the key file. Save it as a new one. Now this should be easier to work with. It'll have its history in place. Close that. Let's see how it runs now. Yeah, pretty good. One thing that's always weird, now this is like a weird thing. You have to use the pencil tool almost while drawing, or you get these weird little white gaps in the colors that I hate. Sometimes I filled these in the past. I think if I just export, it'll be no problem. Now the monster truck does not have, it's just black. I don't have to worry about exporting different layers. If I want different colored monster trucks later, I can go back and change it, but it's not really necessary. So we'll just hide this. Oh god, that looks terrible without the background. Now, could there be an easy way to fill this? I could. Let's see if I just add a stroke to this. That's 1 pixel. Other than that, you can. Yeah, that actually worked. Wow. I didn't expect it to work. Wow, I wish I was that smart years ago. Yeah, but no, thank you to both for dropping by. Appreciate it. Miss Brandon, if you're still there, how far into Plucky Square are you? I believe it has like, I've heard it has at least 5 chapters. One thing with this, like if I go back from layer 10 to layer 9 and I turn on that frame, it wouldn't have the effect. It's one kind of like, it's kind of a neat feature, but it's also annoying at times of moving layers around. It's been no deer up here this time. I went really slowly coming at night. I saw like 8 deer at least in the last 30 minutes of driving all along the road. Like, but up here at the cabin, only squirrels so far. Not like in the summer when there's like deer walking through the yard twice a day. Probably because there's no hunting in subdivision. Okay, one thing, I always draw it this way, but I believe I have to reverse the frames because they go backwards. I think I fixed that on the hats when I was drawing them. But yeah, it's I kind of made it more work for myself always. But pretty easy with that reverse frames feature. Okay, we'll cut these now. Or copy. It kind of jumps out here. It kind of feels a bit off. It's probably fine though. I mean, it won't be it's not the player driving. It's a monster truck. You can always easily nudge it later once it's done. So now we'll do this the easy way and just render it as a video of PNG frames. I'll change it to 1 second each so I don't have to do the math. Just gonna do 1 frame a second. So I guess the Sony presentation is kind of interesting because we'll probably get a Death Stranding 2 update. That's my guess. I think it's too early for anything else. But all those journalists went and saw. They were visiting the Kojima Productions office. Is that what it's called? I think is well. Anyway, whatever Hideo Kojima's company is in Japan. Okay, so image sequence, only 2 digits, 1 frame per second. Let's go. Yeah, and there it is. So if you had to think, if you had to file like a ridiculous amount of animation, that would make it way easier. Now, while I'm exporting that to get it in, I'll try to bring the tires in because the tire is not as big of a file, but maybe based off how slow the other one is, maybe I'll have to take time too. Let's do fake multitasking. Oh my god, I can't move a window right now. Yeah, there. Yeah, now the scratch discs are full. That's what I get for installing 2 games on Steam. Probably have to close Photoshop and open again. But let's bring in these monster truck frames. If I have things like a monster truck, maybe I just put it off too long because I knew it'd be a bunch of work. Sometimes it's better just to dive in and do it. Kind of wish if you just brought in a bunch of frames, it would make it a sprite in GameMaker, but okay, we want middle center. We don't really want a frame rate, but we can see it animating way quicker here. We'll change that to 0 so it doesn't auto animate. Because basically the animation is driven by the direction in Carpoon. No need to have it spinning like crazy. I didn't know you could scrub like that. Yeah, that's kind of neat. This collision mask, I don't think I actually use, but I'll have to check. It kind of uses a physics collision mask, so I want to save this so I have for later. Can Photoshop open? You seem kind of angry still, but I think the tires won't be too bad because all I have to do is do a 2x2 grid. Like if I get one tire showing up, I just have to space them out. I can kind of use that same sort of thing I've done with the tow arm for figuring out how far out the harpoon should be. It's just sort of sin and coast or sine and coast triangles type stuff. But here's a tire. This is a simple tire, so once it's working, I can make it knobby tires and see how it goes. Stuff like speed lines might help, but this is kind of like the prototype tire. It's pretty simple. Now, the tire, I guess, will probably be about 200 pixels tall. Now, an easy way to do this is always just to kind of have all the frames open and select the white space around it, then crop it. But that takes time, so I'm just going to do a quick look and see if this... Oh! See if this keeps it in place the whole time. The tire doesn't go out of it. Oh yeah, the other way too is to make them all smart objects, but then you get different sizes. Well, that's too bad. I should have saved it in place. As much as I love this, I'm going to delete it so I don't have to worry about it showing up again. I think if I do this again on Thursday, I guess it's different if I'm playing a game hooked up to it over HD60. But yeah, I won't have to swap out my laptop. If I was doing this again, I'd probably try using a different computer than my laptop. So that's 1600. that's too bad. It's just out of place. Is it ruined? Did it cut it? It kind of did. Hear a squirrel going nuts somewhere in the yard. This tire, I feel like it's gonna have to be more centered. Yeah, I think it'll look a bit weird if it's moving around like that. But we'll see. I can try quick. I'll just try to keep it centered in that line. I don't think this tire needs to have the backside shown. Like it kind of can for the back tires. I don't think people see it that much. It'll just make it easier in doing all the calculations to kind of match what the truck is doing. I think drawing's way more fun on stream still, even with this focused goal. Leaving the background, I can't see where to crop it, but now I was, yeah, that's all safe in the bounds. So it's kind of weird when it swings out like that, but I'm sure at a small size it kind of will smooth that out. And let's have it like, I think 200 pixels tall or 204. That's going to be about the height of the truck. I think that'll look neat. Maybe I'll have to find they have to be bigger later, but that's pretty easy to change at this point. Just do a quick fill, and yeah, I'll have everything I need for the monster truck. I was tempted to get the cheese hat that I finished off from last week, the graphics for it, in the game too, but that might, we see how slow this goes. That's something I can do just to have ready next time. Maybe before there's a toggle for it, I can just set a button to enable it, or just have it on all the time. So I do wish I had more of this ready beforehand, but in the morning I was actually getting Carpoon not crashing from the player order stuff I've been doing to make it so players, it's more easy to keep track of your player spot and your controller having that sort of save and go together after each match. So that's what I was doing, so it didn't just crash immediately. Okay, this should be everything I need. See the tires. Here we go. I wonder. I could just. You're back. You could have said nothing. You could have just been like, I was never gone, and I wouldn't have noticed. Yeah, you you vanished like a ghost. It is going to be Halloween season soon. Are you going to do more Luigi's Mansion commissions? I don't. What is Skell? Is that like a Halloween event? Whoa, that's fast. Oh, the Swedish Game Dev Hotel. Let me. I think they had a premiere the other day. Let me check. I remember Yerk talking about it. Blah, 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 yeah, I still have to watch it because I've been trying to go to sleep kind of earlier. Okay, I didn't know they all went there so much, but that makes sense. Yeah, I had it earlier and I can't find it now, so. But yeah, they have a YouTube channel that. This annoys me. I have to find it now just to show people. I guess I wonder what the cost is. Maybe the cost is just getting there and getting approved. Yeah, I guess they gotta upkeep it and stuff, so it's not like this. It's like they gotta. It's room and board, so they gotta pay for it. Yeah, sure. Like, there's different ways to cover costs, kind of like what is it, a kibbutz? Um, those like you're doing work, but you're staying in Israel. But that's more of a religious thing. Wow, I had it, and now it's gone. I think I saved it in some document to watch later. Yeah, it's a place. I think there are two different places. Like, I remember someone talking about one, and it's kind of just like a retreat in the woods. Maybe like what I'm doing right now, but with the. But if you had more people around you, so you're not just alone. Yeah, I'll check later. There's I think maybe it's the same one and moved, but I think there are two different ones in Europe. Okay, so here on this truck again, we'll make it 0. The frames, middle center is tempting, but bottom center is probably fine. That's gonna be weird. But I'll just do that for now, just so it's easy to keep on the ground. No, but there's all sorts of neat experiences in life, right? So, well, not to cost you family money and be around creatives be huge. Yeah, I get lucky with the different indie meetups in Vancouver. You should do a starting point and just set one up in Tennessee. Giving away your location there. You could have Southern indie cooking. Yeah, always easier said than done. I think probably you just have to create an online group or just keep an eye out for people who are around the area first. Yeah, no one around where you are. You would have to. How far is it to Nashville again? Like, it's like quite a few hour drive, isn't it? So funny thing is that I named the enemy SUV van, like I named it a van. I don't know why. Then I call it an SUV elsewhere. It's always confusing to find. I'll tell you the story. Really, I'll tell you the story about the guy who started up full indie again. Like, it was done, but I guess it's kind of easier. He just asked the people who used to create it if he could start meetups again, and took it over. I think that is easier. It's than starting something new. But the thing is, starting something new, at least you get to start from scratch. Like, cause that one you have something to get community for. But what was it, the IGDA? They used to have different meetups. Like, for all you know, there is a meetup going on that you just haven't found out about yet. But I am coming from Vancouver, where people indies move to Vancouver to because of the indie community. God, it took us a long time to get to this point, but at least this is 10 minutes into where I'd normally be in a stream. Starting that hour earlier. Yeah, oh, and ready. We'll have another Carpoon community meetup maybe later in the month or something, like in October. So that could be one for you. Probably you could check in Reddit or something like, hey, anyone around Tennessee that wants to have an indie meetup or any indie meetups around there? That might be a more easy place. Or the Eggplant Podcast, their Discord server, to try to see if one exists already. Okay, we're gonna duplicate the van and see what happens to do a monster truck. Okay, you want to get out of the U.S. as soon as possible. I think that is easier said than done. I think it's hard to move to another country. But I don't know. It's something you have to start looking into. What country would you move to? Germany. Okay, I know nothing about moving there. Do they speak? Do most of the people speak English in Germany? Yeah, so you'd probably be fine. It's like if you moved, I've had an excuse to go visit Europe. It's one place I've never been to. Okay, we have the monster truck now. I wonder if I plunk him into a room, if he has a different name, if he'll be deleted or not. Because I think I delete every type of enemy car, and he might inherit that and automatically die. Because I destroy everything just to have waves modes now. But I'll plunk it in for real and see what happens. That one's the one for the trailer. That one's the. I think there was a button that activates him, but I also probably delete it now. No, I don't. Okay, let's see what the button is. That'd be kind of entertaining. It's probably hidden somewhere. Yeah, the button to actually load it is hidden somewhere that I don't know. It's been quite a long time. So we'll just drag in the new monster truck, which will have no wheels. We'll put two of them in there and we'll kind of see what happens. We'll see if they're deleted and all at all. If not, I'll have to add them into waves. It just should be funny for cars without tires to go around. Pretty sure I built the file earlier, but yeah, it's just loading. I'll have to turn down the volume. It's going to be loud. I also can slowly feel that I can't feel my legs on this wooden chair, even with cushions. Come on, load. Oh yeah, it's building new textures, probably because I imported new sprites. Yeah, turn down that volume. I changed the starting resolution for Carpoon to 1920 by 1080, and now it doesn't start up in that small window anymore before going to full size. Yeah, whoopee. It's me. I was trying to. Oh no. This is funny. What? Where was that even? I don't remember deleting the old monster truck. That was probably code to make the eyes bulge in the trailer, like to be scared. It's tempting to keep in, but it's not. Monster structure. Just do a quick search for it. Because it tells me the line number, but it's kind of not line numbers. Okay, it was in the tires. Well, we don't need these anymore. Okay, it's because I renamed it to the trailer at the end. I'll just name it back. I think I can remember not to use that. Hopefully the build is quicker this time. Super nice day out here right now. Why am I purple and green? Let's take a look. I think I had. Oh yeah, I'm super green now. There. The color was so dark earlier. I kind of looked like I was in some bleak, futuristic, dystopian world. So I'm like, oh, I'll boost up the saturation. But now it's actually nice out. So no need to boost the saturation and stuff. Thank you. It's like I'm just using the webcam on my laptop today, and I was hoping to. I ran out of USB ports to use my actual camera, and like I fiddle around with colors. Okay, so those are the monster trucks in theory, but their sprites are still set to the SUV sprites. I can feel the performance of Carpoon really taking a hit right now. Yeah, for the camera though, I have no lights here or anything to change it. I only have sunlight to rely on right now. So this sprite, we can probably just say not do. Or the bottom sprite could be a tire. I'll have to overwrite. I think I have a blank sprite. Yeah. I'm just gonna put it on a blank sprite so it doesn't complain. And then for the drawing, for the tires, I can add more to it. But so that's a good sign. I think I did the right move in duplicating this. We'll see. We'll see what this looks like. Uh-oh, I started in player 2 slot. Yeah, I thought so. It's not gonna like. That's me feeling around with the player controls being based off the player controller number, and of course this is like 1, and I was using spot 2 at the time. Okay, so their eyes are the SUV eyes. That's the only difference. The scale and the eyes are different. Um, they also seem to be backwards. Maybe I have to duplicate a frame. Because I think, yeah, that's one thing I forgot. Enemy cars, they kind of bounce up and down. So I'm going to have to duplicate that quickly. Uh, I'll have to scale the shadow down and add in tires. But yeah, horrifying, but easy enough. If I need a creepy monster enemy, not a monster truck, I know what to do. Yeah, so the enemy cars looked a little livelier. I had it so every second frame they kind of bounce up and down. I don't really want to do that right now. I'm just gonna make each frame maybe zero 0.5 seconds, and then it should double them. Hopefully I don't have to do the same for the tires. I think the tires won't be so bad. It's might as well get started. Now, do I draw one or try for all four at first? We'll try for four. And open up O enemy card just to see what it does for drawing. So the surfboard is kind of underneath. We can kind of use that. Oh, I'm going to have to draw the tires before I draw the other stuff too. So I'm going to change that right now. Let's see if Photoshop is loaded. I think so. Okay, I got it wrong. I do have to make it 2 seconds a frame, not half. It was one way or the other. put it in the wrong folder, but that's okay. Yeah, so now we have two each frame. Like, it would be easier in code to just bounce them up and down. Maybe that's something I didn't think about back then, or it's already pretty tricky to get them to line up. Something it's not so bad to do now. Okay, this should that's the wrong thing down here. I might have to undo that double frame stuff later. Okay, let's see where the surfboard is here. I think the hard part will be getting the placement right for all the tires. Like, I might have to create an array with the right spot on each frame, because on some of the frames it probably look right, and some of them it will look wrong. So it might be easy to have just a reference and then translate it. Oh, now I want to draw it after and inherit it, but that frame might not, all this stuff might not change in time. I'll try the scale of 1.5. I don't know what the repercussions of that will be. Eye radius, that can be less. We're about halfway. We'll try 15. Trying to think if I want to change the position now to try for 4 of them. Oh man. Gonna do this so it's just easier to read, because that gets to be a very long line of code while drawing it. this is one of those where it's like, um, you almost want a for loop where with like a double for loop, because like, you don't have to, but I can't use X. I want to do XP. Okay, this is. Please stop suggesting. GameMaker gets slow if you leave it open for a day. I should have closed it. So doing this, it should make it easier just to go, oh, it's the second one. Well, add a little bit more. So hello, HPR Shredder. How's it going? I'm trying to add in the monster truck boss right now. I'm adding tires, individual tires. I guess these tires might turn later too. That's something that's might be beyond the scope of this, but I'll try. I'll try and see what I can do in about an hour and a half of left. How you doing? Are you tired? I'm not tired. I had enough sleep yesterday, and is it dropping frames a little here? It might be. My computer is. This is my laptop, so maybe I'm not sure if I can change the output on the fly or the encoder. The encoder preset is very fast. Uh, I could try super fast. I don't know if you can change it while it's streaming. That for Dragon Quest. So I'm glad it arrived and looks great. That's always a worry. I'm like, let me. Like I used to ship computers. Like I would fix computers, and it's nothing like fixing somebody's broken computer and then having it break while shipping. So that kind of had me more conscientious about packing things. No, I was saying because there's no, was it Venmo? That doesn't exist in Canada. So if you have PayPal or Wise, those might be easy things to do later. But there's no rush on that. But those are two ones that I have. There might be Google Wallet now in Canada that's usable. Like in the past, like Google Wallet kind of existed, but you couldn't actually use it for anything, so it's kind of worthless. But no, I'm glad it's there. Seeing the box art of Dragon Quest did give me the itch to play some Dragon Quest again. But I'll consider that after Dark Souls. Anyway, I put it on super fast, so we'll see if it. Oh, you're 10 minutes behind. Yeah, that happens. I always hate clicking, trying to move around the stream, and then it's like, hey, you're behind. It should have a warning. It should be like, maybe you're watching the stream and it's all black and white with little grainy dots. Like, you're in the past. Yeah, but also, so I'm at 100 Mile House right now to kind of have a quieter environment, to have a better chance at sleeping through the night, and just enjoy kind of the outdoors a bit here um, before it gets too cold. So that's why I'm up here and the frame rate's not so good. Okay, the monster trucks were what you're commenting on for tagging the frame rate. Yes, that's just, I think the laptop um, basically, while streaming, like, I feel like streaming takes 30% of the laptop's power. So it's, compared to when I was just running it yesterday without streaming, it does change it a bit. So if I was to stream again up here, I'd have to consider just hooking up another computer or something. Because I do have a little mini PC i7 up here. Laptop, I've also been running out of scratch disk space. That could also be doing it. Just have to delete some files. But yeah, I definitely noticed some frame rate tanking there. And not because of a future tank cameo. Okay, so this, the width of the monster truck is about 80. I'm just gonna, oh yeah, so that was in that, in the past there. So if you have PayPal or Wise, those are ones I have, just because Venmo doesn't exist in Canada. And no rush, and we can figure it out later. Probably figuring out payment details isn't so good, unless I was like, this is my PayPal. Feel free to donate to it at any time. That'd be the only way. I wrote word instead of width, reading your comment. So it's 160. So this is just not to have random numbers written in. We're going to do... Yeah, but I think the PayPal is just my email address. And that should work. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll just message it to you right after. I'll double check that it works. So what we're doing here is just subtracting by half for the tires from the position. Then we're going to add in one when XP is 1 for the other tire. So otherwise it won't add this, in theory. And then we'll do the same for... I guess the higher tires that are going to be behind it. I feel like something's wrong there, but we'll see. And we'll see how it's running. I can probably close Photoshop now. That might help a bit. These files took so long to open on the laptop. They also took time on my computer at home when I was doing remote desktop, but let's see, where is it? Okay, let's see how it runs. Knowing the debugger now, I can look a bit easier to find out what is causing the most resources to be used, so at least there's hope. Oh no! Crashed. Oh. Okay, so this is... It's creating the physics fixture, and it doesn't exist yet, I believe. It's weird how it complained about that now, but didn't want that earlier. So hey, now it's going to ask, what's it like color grading a video? I've just learned about color grading's existence. That is something that uh, I wonder what the process is like. But okay, so do you know anything about game copyright stuff? Are you talking about as a game creator or as a like as someone streaming games? Because there was just an indie conference on. Okay, as a game creator, yeah, I was purple and green earlier. Yeah, a game creator. Now is this kind of like the Pal World gun stuff too? Because I was just at indie conference on Saturday, and they had Voyeur Law there, and they had a talk with Haley, who's also on MinMax, and she's a lawyer for them. And they were talking about video game patents, which is kind of like copyright, but kind of done in a way so uh, you can kind of like patent different ideas you have if they're innovative enough. There's also okay, so a lot of people make fan games like another Metroid 2 remake, but people say if you change the characters to the original IP, it's fine. But what about the layout of the actual stages? I think as long as it's not exactly one to one, it's safe. And like if you recreated all the tile art to be slightly different, because I think it just has to look different enough. Um, that's my take on it. I don't know fully for sure, but maps and like level layout isn't something I've ever seen explicitly taken. Although like no game really tries to like I would say most games don't try to do like a one-to-one copy of it. Like they might have a one level kind of nod or parody, but now let's say so they were talking about the example that they had was um, let's say like the Eternal Darkness sanity effect was patented by them and actually just ran out in 2023. But there was a recent game that like had a sanity meter like it, but Nintendo didn't go after them. Why is Nintendo going after Pal World? And basically, it's Nintendo is going after Pal World because Pal World did super well, so they were trying to set an example with Pal World and try to. They want to do that, so they hurt Pal World financially, and they also then put fear into other developers not to do the same. So if you're doing a platform, you include a hidden stage in the layout of Mario 1-1 as an Easter egg. I don't think they'd pounce. I think a 1-1 Mario would be okay, especially if like all the graphics were done by you. And like the enemies are going to be slightly different and stuff too. So I think 1-1 would be fine. Now, yeah, if Nintendo like unless it's let's say it's just the patent of the Pokeball that's the only thing they have going against Power. That's what Steven Totilo was saying. Then that That's kind of a small thing. It's not the same as like if they were using the character models with AI and stuff, which kind of seemed to be like a fake post somebody made. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like I mean, there's millions of other Pokemon like games in the past. Like was it? There's Digimon. There was Robopon. Um, Power World just did really well. So every developer should start putting Pokeballs in their games to troll them. Yeah. Well, I was trying to think for Beastie Ball, what happens there? Like, I don't think there's a ball. I think they just join your team. Beastie Ball being like a very much like a Pokemon. What if Pokemon played volleyball type game? Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, you wish Nintendo would stop suing everyone. That's what I guess that's what they have the right to have with their patents and protecting things. Like they have to protect their IP and stuff, and they're protective of their game ideas. But I don't know. I think back to a time when they were super secretive about Mario Sunshine. They're like, "Oh, everyone's gonna copy this," and they didn't. Uh, I guess, yeah, I guess like it's just the way it goes, and game companies, some of them are secretive, some of them like keeping their ideas. It's just a sad reality of it. Like I was talking to someone in animation, and they're saying that this company, because there's no non-compete stuff anymore, this company would only hire people from I think it was from South America, because otherwise, if people from Canada, they would learn all the secrets and then go to another animation company and take them. The Power World stuff, like I guess we'll see, because Power World is a pretty small company, and they released a pretty big game, so it depends if they what corners they cut to get the job done. But all Nintendo has to do really is like drag something out. Oh yeah, cease and desist letters for hosting fan tournaments. That's something that was I didn't like. That's kind of like when YouTube videos of Nintendo at first, like you had to kind of sign up for approval at first. That was something they started doing after taking a bunch down. Like they had that kind of, I'm not going to say club, but it was some sort of form. Yeah, Nintendo partner program. And they would get like a portion of it. Um, Kind of like a royalty, basically. If other companies did the same thing, probably it'd still be around. But it's just it's a way of showing up other games, and talking about them. So yeah, then it ended. I think other companies being based in North America, maybe they have a different outlook on things than Nintendo in Japan, and maybe taking longer to catch up on things. You could have a video, the dark side of Nintendo. It's like when a company has a lot of money, well, that's when maybe they either get cocky or more lenient. Yeah, that's a great point that playing a video game is essentially a performance. You should have every right to share your own experience. Yeah, that's the thing though, where, was it saying that? Okay, Power World. The lawyer Haley was saying there's a chance because Power World might have a lot of money, although they don't have enough. But it's like it took companies like Epic to kind of try to bring more rights to things. And even still, it's kind of going on. So that's the thing about court cases where it's like sometimes whoever has the most money, unfortunately. And that another thing was that patent trials are often in, I think it was like Eastern Texas or something, because they usually side on the patent side. Yeah, a bad PR move. I don't think. I wonder if kids find out about this these days. Like, if I was a kid, would I be like, being like, "Oh, Nintendo's suing this company"? Like, I think places like Kind of Funny talk about it for sure, and they would hear about it there. I wonder. I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, if their favorite YouTuber talked about it, they know. Yeah, so right, beat 'em ups. And it does make the news whenever it happens. But there was for the longest time everyone kind of thought, oh, Nintendo's gonna sue Power World, even though they're kind of different games. And well, here months later, sure enough, it happened. Just maybe differently for a different reason than expected, but we don't know the reason yet. We'll see. I think. Okay, that I don't see why this shape is wrong. It's got a shape. It's always a question. Like some companies are pretty open with sharing how they develop things to try to open things up for others, but then others are closed off because ultimately, I guess it is a competition between everybody. But then, yeah, suing people, I don't know. Yeah, you respect Nintendo's developers. It's a corporate side that you take issue with. Yeah, that's yeah, I agree with you there. You separate them in your head. Yeah, you can now, especially with Iwata not passed away and not being in charge anymore. It's a company we all have to remember it's a company that we love, but it's designed to make money and it has shareholders. So shareholders means ultimately you have a quarterly report and you got to stick to that. Yeah, I miss some. I miss him too. I think I don't know what it'd be like if he'd still be there. How different it would be. What timeline it would be like. So I'm guessing this error I have is something else. Now you got to think too. Many of the Nintendo developers, the original ones, are going to retire soon. But at least on the developer side, like they've had many up and coming people over the years, so it seems to be at least they take care of that, where they pass on that developer knowledge. That's also scary. Remember Miyamoto almost did, and the stock plummeted, and he stayed on. Did he say he was going to retire, or did he? So you think he probably doesn't do much these days? He's just there for the stock. Yeah. Well, he gets to do the movie and theme park stuff. I'm guessing. I wonder how much he is involved in those. Like it feels like he's involved a fair amount to make sure those go well. Okay, so here I have no scale of 1.5. That's what happened. So Tezuka, Kazumi should have more time. Yeah, I wonder like how long Ainuma will be there for, but they already have someone up and coming for Zelda. Uh, I forget his name, but the one guy who worked on Mario Wonder. Oh yeah, Tezuka. Yeah, he. Yeah, Tezuka. I don't. I feel like he would retire soon, but I don't know. He's happy. Like if he made one more great. Well, he wouldn't be working on the 3D Mario games. 3D Mario would be more at Nintendo Tokyo. Yeah, he worked on Zelda 1. He made it so it was so efficient. They had that whole room for the whole second world. So, yeah. Yeah, that was neat interviewing him. And at one point, like, he answered a question differently than what we asked, but then we just changed the question after to match the answer. Sakurai may be gone soon. Well, Sakurai's coming back though. He's working on games again. Maybe he'll be working on games in a more limited way, but I think I would guess Sakurai still has a decade left. And then maybe he'll evaluate again and see if he wants to do some other project. I don't know. He could just want to retire, but I feel like he's got to be have the itch in some way to be doing something with games. Okay, the lead in Splatoon, I forget his name, but he's the guy who has the lab coat always in the directs. Yeah. No, Splatoon. I was like, I'm trying to think. That's basically the best new Nintendo IP. So go. This is probably gonna be the problem. Yeah, rip arms. Arms. Well, Splatoon had more of an impact. Arms could be the second best IP. We'll see if Arms comes back. Might not. Yeah. It's a game that's actually, pretty good exercise too. It's a nice bonus. Uh, So I'm gonna see if I put this above to inherit everything first, if that fixes it. But then I might have to duplicate it again after. I don't have tires going over it. So you wonder if you get a hint to the next Zelda sooner rather than later. What that all depends if they are working on another Zelda for Switch 2. If they had a new timeless art style, that'd be interesting. But Breath of the Wild did so well. They would kind of be. I think they'd be hard pressed to make something new, but they love the Wind Waker type style, maybe. But okay, my top 3 Zeldas. That would be. Do I have to do them in order? Because I have them in my head, but let me know if I should do them in order. Because then that gets more difficult. It's easy to rattle off 3. Okay, it doesn't have to be in order. Okay, great. Zelda 1, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild. There you go. Oh yeah, when Ocarina of Time came out, the commercials for it, it's like it, like 3D kind of took that leap when Mario 64 was there, but that Ocarina of Time with its lighting and stuff, and like the horse running across, like on Epona running across the horizon, it was just mind blowing. Basically, it's like, well, how is this real? It was like, it was basically like the best looking game at the time, like even considering some of the PC stuff, because PCs were kind of slow at the time. So it's a shame we didn't get Mother 64, Fire Emblem 64, or Metroid 64. Yeah, I wonder, Metroid 64. I wonder if they ever worked on something like that. But Mother 64 would have been neat. I think those might have just been at the disk drive that didn't happen. So, but yeah, like what would have they done in Metroid? Would they have done a 2D game again? Like you would think they'd have to try for 3D. Would it be like detailed and slower paced? Would it be a third person game? Because yeah, they wouldn't try first person then, I think. Yeah, it'd probably be a third person game. It's my guess. And it'd probably be slower going. You've been feeling the fire, Tom? What fire? The Fire Emblem fire? Oh, the development fire. Are you gonna? Well, now what's your plan? I have a friend that he does 3 hours a week and sets time in. Uh, like I guess, or you could just kind of choose if you want to set a weekend to do like a Godot project. That might be an easy way to do it. Like to follow a tutorial. Oh, quit your job and live in the tent. That's like my brother's idea to live in northeastern Washington and live off the grid. Uh, games are made in different ways. Can you imagine? Can you imagine like the direct video or like the indie world video of you like just recording from either in front of the tent and like this is where I made my game in this tent. Being in the cabin here is kind of close to that, but it's also 800 square feet. and has power. The power would be you do need to live near an outlet. Okay, so these variables are, I feel like they're not being inherited. I'm kind of annoyed because obviously they work here, no problem. Oh, you heard a piece of music that inspired you to get started. Yeah, that's nice. I was listening to some uh, different old CDs on the way here. Yeah, some of the lyrics pretty good, and I guess like I normally I don't have as much time to listen to music anymore, or I find music with lyrics is distracting, so I don't usually listen to it while coding, for instance. And then a lot of times while I'll draw and I might listen to a podcast or something. So this cabin is my dad's cabin, or my dad and mom. They bought it when I was 12. So it's just a family cabin. I remember being younger thinking about buying another property, and it was like some of them were $10,000 at the time. Like this cabin itself, I think was 20,000 plus the land beside it was 10,000. But now, like finally at a point like 10 years ago, prices actually went up because eventually people always search further and further out for property, and it's not ridiculously far from Vancouver, and the Okanagan, which is far warmer, became much more expensive and busier. So, but I don't know. I just use this one instead of getting. I use this one instead of getting my own cabin that also require more maintenance and stuff. So it's just, I guess, being lazy. Basically, if I got my own cabin, then this one's used less, and I'd have to do more work on the other one. Okay, we're basically running into the issue, talking about a family cabin. We're running into an issue of inheritance here with Carpoon. Uh, oh, Aiden, I'll admit, I looked up a video of, was it the Lower New Londo, and saw who the boss was. And I saw in the video how they're just, the character was a higher level up to get more attacks in quickly. So I'm like, oh, I'm worried in Dark Souls now if I should be leveling up before going to that boss. I should probably just try and see if I can get there. Yeah, the Four Kings. I think they were close to 8 or 10 levels above me. It seemed like a cool fight. Like you're kind of floating in a realm, like a cloud realm. It's kind of not. It reminds me a bit of the Water Temple fight in terms of being a neat setup. The Ocarina of Time Water Temple fight against Dark Link. But no, that's a neat idea to have to fight them. They're all on a time limit. Oh yeah, that Dark Link fight back in the day was amazing. I guess they can't keep going back to that same well. It's also pretty tough to matching the same movements. So, oh, it's a, okay, this is a variable. That's why, that's why it's not coming across maybe. Now, I could just make this not a variable anymore. But then it's not a variable for everything. I think I'll just figure it out again. Now, what else? Truck offset. We'll see the offset. We'll see if this works. That should work. Height, that's definitely not a variable. Are you going to get Echoes of Wisdom this week or at any point? I probably will be playing that at some point. Kind of interesting to find out this week that it started off as a dungeon maker. Then I probably realized, hey, not everyone likes making dungeons, but people love doing different items all the time. Yeah, if it goes on sale, I'll use copy. Like my friend lent me Link's Awakening on Switch recently to go through. I hadn't played that one other than demos. To me, it does. Look at those tires. There we go. There we go. The game's done. Game's. I love when moments like these are caught while streaming. It's supposed to just me coming across them by myself. So is it excusable that I didn't play Link's Awakening or that these tires are on top of the truck heads? Because I will play Link's Awakening on Switch. Yeah, the Game Boy version runs at 60. Yeah, see, I was like, I can just play the Game Boy version again. Like, I think I should track down the Game Boy Color one. It has that extra dungeon. I think I only have the original. It's so weird to think that the Game Boy has games that run at 60 frames a second. You'd think that a thing like Game Boy would have. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's excusable. Okay. Yeah, the frame rate. So the thing about Game Boy, like you would think it would chug like 15 frames a second, but that was more the I don't know. Was it something about the screen refresh? Because remember Metroid 2 kind of like blur kind of when stuff was moving in motion. Oh, I probably should have taken a screenshot of that. Those tires on top. But anyway, that's pretty easy to figure out. I'm gonna try to move. Do you want to see the biggest hacky thing in the world? Like I could do it twice, and it'll show up on top over the tires. That's like the lazy man's. Wait. Okay, so these. I think the height of drawing like the actual truck has to be higher up. But I'll try to get the tires in the right spot. Now with the new one though, it is neat that they left Grezzo to make it. So the remake, you can't believe they're just charging so much for what appeared to be an unfinished and unoptimized remake of previously $30 game. Yeah, was it made? I forget. Was it made in like a Unity or Unreal Engine? It's like them testing the waters of it. But Yeah, there's a lot of remakes where it's like, why does it cost so much? Why is it's like there's nothing new. Or I think there was like some little tiny new mode. Uh, yeah, Woolly World, and I believe Pikmin 4 was Unreal. So, but it's like been so long since people had it, and you see prices to buy games like that they don't have it. The worst part though is when they don't have it available to download and play anymore. When stuff like that's been on old platforms or like WiiWare and stuff, that's the biggest downer. I love games that let you toggle between the two different modes, like original and the new one. Yeah, a Link Between Worlds. I think a Link Between Worlds was made by Nintendo proper though. It runs like Ocarina of Time and Hyrule Field. Yeah. Oh, ouch. Well, now I'm not looking forward to playing Link's Awakening at all on Switch. Maybe I'll just see it, just so I can shake my fist at it. Echoes of Wisdom at least seemed smooth at PAX. Yeah, you're almost never a graphics guy. Yeah, the when graphics detract from the game, that's when we become graphics people. Like on a technical level. Yeah, I understand fully. Like it's nothing like playing a game and then like what should run well doesn't. Okay, we are going to do add more height because yeah, on a game you love too. Yeah, probably most people are happy to see it again. Love the cute characters. They're like, oh look at that, and then they look back at screenshots or not playing it, and oh, tire height's 200. We'll call it tire height. And so yeah, then they have good memories of it instead of bad memories. I'll say too. Sometimes it's hard, or what is it? It takes balls to review a game and like say a statement that maybe people who are all looking forward to the game and they don't know it yet, or they don't want to hear. I think that's something that Andre used to be when he would do reviews more often. He was pretty good at. Are we willing to say a game's bad or not? Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going to unsubscribe to make your 10,000 word script video complaining about Tears of the Kingdom. Uh, you're allowed to make that sort of thing because I liked Breath of the Wild more than Tears of the Kingdom. Uh, like Tears of the Kingdom might be a better sandbox in my opinion for gameplay at times, but in terms of the overall package and bloat, I don't think it's as good. That's probably too why I didn't finish Tears of the Kingdom. I probably got halfway through, and I was like, "This is enough." Maybe I can revisit it later at some point. Okay, these tires are gonna get too smaller, and a little to the. They're gonna have to be nudged over a bit, and the shadow's gonna have to move. I think the tires I'm gonna have to. Yeah, you purposely stopped playing when you realized there wasn't anything you wanted to do in the game after about 80 hours. Say I was around 70 hours. Like, I don't know if there's. I guess the building vehicles and stuff is fun, but I kind of need stuff to respect my time. So maybe I'll go around. Yeah, I know. Perfection. So I have to duplicate the frames like I did on the monster truck just because uh, enemy cars have 2 frames in every spot where the player truck has 1, just so they kind of hop up and down. Or I can double the number. And the eyes are green for some reason. I'll have to make the eyes black. But yeah, those can be half size. You might not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. Yeah. These tires, so I'm just kind of prototyping them right now. I do want to have like the knobby monster truck tires. So he's like the SUV right now. I can't. He's too heavy to pull. It would take 2 players to tow him in. Oh, he's stuck. Let me see if I. No, his physics object is smaller, like what I made. So the size is kind of going what I'm going for, but yeah, I'm gonna try the tires half size. And hey, I got the monster truck in though. That was a goal. That was the goal for today's stream. So maybe about 25 minutes left. I'm on a very small wooden chair right now, so I look forward to like standing up later and not being able to move. Okay, so his I'm gonna change his eye color and stuff. So Hayden, I was gonna ask, do you think I should I was thinking of doing another stream on Thursday again. Do you think it'd be better to do more UFO 50 like games 10 to 20 or hop onto another game to just so less of a deep look and more just checking out like another game for experience. Okay, yeah, you love some UFO 50. I mean, there's 50 games. I was looking forward to a long time, so yeah, maybe I'll just focus on 10 to 20. We can possibly try remote play at some point, so you can see if Steam works on your Mac. More of the tower defense one, number 30. Yeah, I'll give that a look too to see if I can figure it out. I am surprised you can remember the number of it. I was playing, I think it's called Valbrace last night, and it's kind of in that fake first-person shooter, like Super Nintendo style, where you only move. It's kind of like what a Dragon Quest dungeon looks like, but you only move forward like little, let's say 10 feet at a time. And that one though, it's like this frame rate is way too good when you're actually in a battle, because when you're in battle you go into third person. It's way too good for what something like a Famicom would do at the time, but it handles really well. I was surprised. I found myself liking that. Very maze-like, very dark and mysterious. When I was listening to the Eggplant.show podcast about UFO 50, and I think other things was it? Okay, that they're talking about UFO 50. They're going to review one game a week, but on Simon Parkin's My Perfect Console, talking to Derek Yu. Derek Yu is saying some games like they lose that sense of mystery. That's something I'm going to think about more for next game after Carpoon. Like more mystery, more secrets, like stuff like that. It's kind of fun to come across in a game. Like you don't have to know everything. It's fun to kind of figure things out. Yeah. Well, like that developer console in UFO 50, there's going to be a ton of secrets that people haven't figured out. They're going to take a long time to figure out more secret mysteries. Okay, that might. I admit that word choice I might have used is kind of the same, but but yeah, they're great. Like Zelda, you come across something for the longest time. It's like, oh, or like I think in that era too. Well, yeah, Mario 3 secrets still doesn't make sense though. Why in the Wizard the one of the friends knew how to like get the whistle like going on that white block. That's something that bugs me to this day. But other than that, other than that, all the secrets in that, uh, always amazing to find. Okay, well, I kind of spoiled the ending of the Wizard then, but it was basically like a giant ad for Mario 3 and Nintendo games. Um, it had Fred Savage in it. It's kind of all I remember. There's a power glove in one scene. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, good luck with your work. I'm only going to be around about 20 minutes longer. I tried starting earlier today just because I'm going to see one of my friend's projects right after this. Well, I think too, I'm trying to wake up a little bit earlier too because I'm probably more productive later on in the morning than later. Get your photo taken for your new badge. Is that like one of the YouTube membership things? Or a badge at work? Yeah, get in the building. It's a state flag and orange. An orange with Disney World and a manatee. This is one thing now I'm running to, just trying to find the color blend. It gets tough over time. But I'll be back in a second. Good luck with your work there, Hayden. I want to get some more water. back. I should have just left the monster trucks running on screen. That would have been smarter. But well, my laptop is actually hot right now. But so with water, it's funny here at the cabin that there's no hot water right now because then water has to go through the hot water tank, and then I have to clear it all out for the winter. So when it freezes, it doesn't pipes don't explode. Um, it's a little easier keeping it to cold water. So I had an extremely cold shower last night. It's like with hot water, um, it's like you might think a shower is cold with like a little bit of hot water, but no, no, it's not cold. I would say having water here is like we used to not have water here, and we used to carry down water jugs from our neighbor who generously let us have water from their tap. Like not having water is like the hardest thing about camping or a place like this, like with dishes. Well. Yeah, talking about water because there is a well for the water here. Hi, Yerk, how you doing? Do you want to see? Do you want to see what I did today? I'll show you. It is a. I wanted to. I thought for streams it's more fun instead of being like, well, let me see what loose end I can finish up. It's more fun to have like a focused goal. So I tried putting the monster truck in today, and graphically it's there. He kind of just acts like anything else. For a while, the tires were above it. It's getting close though. I have to change the color and stuff, and the tire size. But yeah, there it is. I have to double the monster truck tire frames too because enemy cars use 2 frames for every 1 frame that the player uses. But so it's getting closer. I want to see if I can duplicate that quickly. And the eyes are a different color. I can just make them. I'm gonna have to override that so the eyelids are black and maybe the eye whites are red. But yeah, finally getting the monster truck in. I remember saying once, it's like, oh, it's gonna go after Carpoon's made. It's like, well, maybe there's a chance to add him in now. Like bosses are fun in the game and memorable, so I was like, oh, maybe there's a chance to add 1 boss per level in Carpoon. Okay. Probably the most important thing is that tire scale. This, which I overwrite. I'm going to call you tire scale. That'll be easier. And I'm only going to have 1. You don't need. No, wait. Do I need 2? Maybe 2 will look more bouncy. Okay, we'll keep 2 for now. I'll try 1, and then if I want, I can put in the other one later. Okay, then we want to probably divide that by 2. What if I divide that this one by 2 because of the doubleness. If that's gonna work now. Oh, monster truck tire. I would. I need. I know I have an easy way to like print the index to the screen at all times. I should have that handy always. Like I should just make a code like print debug message, and it goes to a script and just puts it near it, so it's even easier. I feel like okay, the X position was kind of off, but it might be different now. I'm gonna try divide by 4 instead of by 2. I'll make this one like 3/4. And we'll change the eyelid color and try to overwrite that. How to do that? Probably this object name that I've made. I could also check by the scale being unique at 1.5. Man, where's your image blend? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. So the thing about image blend, I also have like a color number to refer to. I think that won't matter too much. Might be wrong, but we'll see. Okay, now in the enemy car, this is kind of like the object is overriding. Let's go to the eyes. That is a Whoa! I think I accidentally cut the whole thing. Oh well, it didn't matter. Hopefully, I didn't know you could. You shouldn't be able to cut a whole window. What happens if I paste a window? Yeah, there it is. There's a less confusing message. So I was like, I was like, enemy cars don't have a harpoon. That makes no sense for the stun stars to be drawn there. Those stars when the harpoon spins around. Okay, I can change eye size there, but that is not what we're looking for. Can I get a half decent monster truck done in 10 minutes here? So all this is rumbling is so the cars kind of have a bit of extra life with fewer frames of animation just to make them bounce up and down, kind of rotate a bit. This I'll have to do later. Like if the monster truck's in the lava level, it needs a frame where it's screaming in lava, which is perhaps the most fun car frame to draw. Collision. It's like I don't draw the car at all, which is confusing and concerning. Yeah, okay, this is where it is. So the eyes are kind of drawn over everything else. So they're going to be down lower. I feel like this part with the eyes should be in a separate area, but I think it's in an if statement. Okay. Well, I did change it already, so it should be okay, but I wanted to make it red. So this color fill, where do I draw it? This feels like it's overly complicated. But okay. This is a very long line of code. Image. Okay, C white. No, that's the top. Okay, yeah, it's always confusing because it draws the back layer first. So this is drawing the fill layer. This is drawing the sort of ink outlines because they're in two different things. So I fill blend. This here will go if we'll say that. We'll see if it likes that or not. It might not. And we'll change it to red. Yeah, I was kind of looking at that for so long I forgot what I was doing. This should match more of what the it crashed. That's had a non-zero status. That's probably for this line of code here, I'm guessing. We'll see if it does it again. I did also just press a button twice. Don't crash. Yay. Those tires look like a pretty good size. They're just way too spread out. Okay, so so the eye white is in the top layer. Those tires a bit closer. I'll try and move them again. Their distance can be closer in. Yeah, look at how far we've come. We've got monster trucks with tires that aren't over them, but I need, because this is a copy of the SUV. I need two trucks in to actually kill one, because their weight's super heavy right now. I want to flip that eye color before I forget. We'll see what happens. It's stunt ray effects. Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now. Yeah, that totally looks like stunt race FX. I look forward to Carpoon. What was the name I came up with again? Like Carpoon FX0 for like a futuristic sequel. Yeah, I think it doesn't work though if I take enough copyrights from the same company. I think they kind of just go after me. Okay, I'll move this one out. I'll comment it out. I did have parts to put in, like if I want to later. Let me show you. So it doesn't look as floaty, but I was thinking the wheels would be fine without it. It's probably here. Oh no. Yeah, I have these little things for suspension, but they wouldn't move. Um, yeah, that gets complicated. If the wheels bounced, I'd have to program them differently. So I'm hoping that those aren't needed. Yeah, okay, so I can feel my back just crunching here. Okay. Okay, this one will go. Top blend. We'll call it I top blend. My laptop needs like a break. It's working hard here. Okay, I'll do that, and if it's the monster truck, it can be red. We'll see if it changes anything. It should change the eye white color. I don't know, but, and probably the black outline strokes, it probably won't change, fortunately. And now we'll go back to the tires. Let me see. I'll open GameMaker Live, and then maybe I can do edits on the fly too. I finally got it set up again. So handy for not having to compile all the time. Oh no. It's okay. I trust Yellow Afterlife. Who must be a genius coder. Okay. So it should have a client once I compile it. For GameMaker Live to do changes on the fly. We'll now go to something like OPlayer has it, this line of code that basically says if it's live, allow changes. I can't find page up on my laptop. It's kind of blended in with the arrow button. Okay, it's not here. Code, yeah. Maybe maybe too much code. Yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can bring the tires in, then I'll be done. I think that'd be pretty good progress for a morning stream. Here we go. We want this. This should let me tweak values on the fly. Okay, well thank you, Yerk. You should have seen the first hour. The first hour is like slowly loading Photoshop or loading files in Photoshop and having the image file change to export the monster truck frames. It was slightly painful on a laptop. But even I tried doing remote and racing them on my computer at home. Also, anytime there's different frames of animation in Photoshop, it's kind of more intensive. Okay. Later I'll see I might not have to inherit an event twice. Um, it's kind of it's kind of an overkill solution. I was doing that to get all the values for the tires, and then but then the tires draw over the monster truck, and then so I draw the monster truck again over the tires. Yeah, because the old stuff, new stuff, and old stuff again. That's just like a getting it done type thing for an enemy that might appear once. Okay, so the monster truck width I said was 160, and it is. But the easiest thing to do here is to say it's 120. So that's a number I can change later though and fiddle with. So I'll try to take it out of that window to make it easier when the game's running. And we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if I can go. Initial density. I'll make the density lower. Maybe the car. Maybe the truck can pull it. Because it is based off the SUV that requires two of them. That feeling of, oh, it's going to crash. Yeah, so now when this is started, definitely GameMaker Live says, oh yeah, it's detected it, which is nice. Oh no, I started. That's my getting the controller to start in the right spot. So if I start with player 2 there, it will crash. So let's go back in. That. How come there's. Okay, so the eye color isn't being overridden yet. And that does look. I think I would have to draw different iframes. It's a little horrifying when the whole. It's like it's not so bad when it's head on, but when it's sideways, it looks kind of horrifying being all red. I don't know. Maybe when it's not like orange and red, it'll be okay. So this height, I think the height's too much. Let me see if I can edit that right now. I want to say, let's do half. They always say do half, don't do that like little amount. Oh, I got stuck. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some tires in front and some tires behind too. That's interesting. That's something. I think I could put it into the for loop and only do it once. Yeah, so what I was doing is kind of close, but I want the monster truck being drawn in the middle. I think it does need a little bit more height too. This is probably where it's gonna crash. We'll see. It shows, so since it doesn't matter anyway, it's kind of just showing it. Now I don't know where the middle spot. You gotta think, because it's doing probably if yp equals 0. Yeah, we'll just try and see. And XP. No, do it right now. Rush it. Doing it live. Sometimes rushing works. This is probably where it crashes. Yeah, it crashed. Oh, it doesn't like the... It's actually case sensitive. Okay. But that probably broke it too much. We'll see. Oh, you darn truck. You're drawing kind of like... It's close. One tire has to be behind it. Okay. Yeah, I probably have to just draw the front 2 tires, back 2 tires separate. I probably can't do it in a loop like that. Or I'll have to mix up the order. Do Y instead of X first. Yeah, I'll make sure I only do it once. But it doesn't have XP. I don't know, I'll just see what happens. Now... Okay, we'll see if we can change the enemy eye color. That might be... That might not be able to be changed dynamically. We'll see. So this is easy. I kind of already have it here. I'll just make this... I'll make this one black. And that should work no matter what if it's a monster truck. GameMaker's like, I can barely run. This is me trying to delete 2 letters. Please. Okay, yeah, that didn't have the live result things. Let's... Okay, so what type of graphics cards do I have? This is right now is on my laptop, so not good. It's like a built-in, whatever is built in with the Ryzen 7 5000 series. But at home, I found, I was borrowing a friend's 1080, or was it? No, it was like a 1070, and it started having crashing errors. So I gave it back to him. He ended up putting thermal paste on it, fixing it. Then I had a 970, and a 970 only has 4 gigabytes of RAM. So now I have, I think I got a 3060 or something at home. Yeah, I remember it was like, it wasn't much difference, and it has 8 gigs of VRAM, so that's kind of needed for Premiere and stuff. Yeah, let's just shuffle those tires back a bit. I'll just close the program so we get the dark colored eyes, and then I think that will probably be it for today. Put that back in place. I don't know. It's basically just moving back by 20. Yeah, you should do low life streams. Like you can alternate with the art and gameplay and programming stuff. That's what I see other people do. Okay, well anyway, let's see. This is nice. A pretty good chunk of progress today getting the monster truck graphics in place. And the tires weren't so bad, although I will have to try programming the steering later for the tires. Like if a car is turning, have the tires steer. Haven't noticed it so much so far, or too much so far. What did I spell wrong? Truck height scale. It's kind of weird when a bug comes out of nowhere. Line 9. Oh. Okay, so I was inheriting the event before, and then I was getting that variable, and then it didn't matter because I was doing it mid-game. So we'll just keep it twice for now. Why I stream Carpoon though, I guess is just in case some idea gets spurred in a different way, and I just want to show like I don't know, as it's showing how the sausage gets made, but just some of the progress and keeping at it. Although I should make it more clear on the Steam page about this happening. I hadn't updated the Steam page enough. That's where like the biggest audience is. Okay, yeah, that. So the shadow just has to disappear, but maybe the tires can be less wide when it's turning. That's going to be probably like a rotation thing, but and probably these tires too, I have to duplicate them. I think my divide by 2 hack isn't quite working. But we see when it's turning, like probably these tires, I have to use math to kind of rotate them or create preset things. But no, pretty good progress so far. Probably I am going to run into harder things on the monster truck tires. Yeah, like with the math, I'll probably have to do some more tedious things. And the back tires, this is where probably you see when they're kind of like that, like if they move up, it'll be okay. But I'll see once the math's in place if I do have to rotate them. Yeah, semi 3D would just make it easier than this fake 3D. Can I grab him now? Nope, still too heavy. His eyes look like tomatoes. Oh, that's awesome. I'm pretty happy getting that far. Oh, his height. His height is actually fake too. His wheels are like if they're in the ground and it's like the bottom of the truck. is at that level. So a few little things, but yeah, pretty neat to see it in motion. I wish I remembered the button to get the monster truck to pop out. That was just kind of set for the trailer. Yeah, really good progress today. And some shortcuts like the eyes, so I don't have to draw a whole bunch of frames. That seems to work. I think the tire. So we haven't even done the nubby tires yet. That's different too because they have to change based off speed. But that's not too hard to figure out. No, but thank you everyone for dropping by. I'm gonna have a quick break, and yeah, I'll be getting out again. That was a fun stream. Probably be back on Thursday around 2:30 again for some more UFO 50 because there's 50 games in that. We only scratched the surface last time. And good luck to everyone on your own projects, and have a great day. Yeah, the car has this. I think I'll have to look up the word zoomies, but I kind of think I know what you're getting at. Bye, Rudy. See you, buddy. Let me hop in now and stop streaming. Yeah.